What's up, guys? Drew here. Welcome back to Starting Out Solitary. It's week 236, and we're talking about magical beings and working with them if we do. I find the term magical beings to be, I don't know exactly what is inferred by that. Because to me, like, a familiar is definitely a magical being. But there are like, the ancestors, are those magical beings? The spirits of the land, are those magical? So I'm just going to include any sort of spiritual entity, being, energy, or whatever into this category, because that's how my brain works. I personally do not have a familiar. I do not work with a familiar, obviously, if I don't have one. I do have a spirit animal, and I do work extensively with my spirit animal and have been since before I started practicing witchcraft. I work with angels. I work with angels in my magic. Funny, I didn't make that distinction till I think this year or last year. I just worked with angels, and then I was like, oh, I don't work with them in my magic. And then I began to think about the things that I did when I worked with angels, and I'm like, that's magic. So yes, I worked with angels in my magic. You can find lots of writings and workings where we talk about maybe using like Solomon's key, taking power over spirits, usually called demons, and working with them. I haven't done anything like that. That's not to say that I wouldn't, because, well, my personal understanding is that angels and demons are the same thing, basically. So, maybe I have. I think it's a little more subtle, or maybe more complicated than that. I don't know. The ancestors, I work with the ancestors regularly. I work with the spirits of the land. And when I say that, I mean, I'm not talking about devic energy. So you have elemental energy, earth, air, fire, water, spirit. You have devic energy, which is like a naiad or a nixie. Okay, so it's like fae, but they are tied to an element. So they're tied to, trees, which are earth, or they're tied to the rose bush, or they're tied to the brook, or, whatever. These are devic energies. And then you have the fae. I work with the fae. But when I'm talking about spirits of the land, I am talking about something it's almost like an amalgamation. The place has an energy and a consciousness, if you will, because of everything that has happened and gone on in that place throughout history. So for me, I can walk into the Croatan National Forest and find Civil War buttons from uniforms and stuff like that. Like that's out there. People find it. So that energy is where I live. The energy of that war, of that conflict. I can tell you right now, I can go up the road and you can feel, and I call it slave energy. You can feel the energy of the horrible atrocities that were committed in this place with regards to race, with, not just slavery, but what came after. Civil rights, the KKK. I live in a not nice place, historically speaking. So, all that's there. I can drive 45 minutes up the road to Fort Macon, which was like, it was a military fort. And again, that has its own energy. So like, this is what I mean, spirits of the land. So I can walk out into my backyard and I can feel the devic energy from all the plants, the fae energy. I can feel the ancestors, but the land itself has a spirit, has an energy. Fortunately, where I live right here, it isn't anything negative at all. For me, spirits of the land is more of like energetic echoes. That's how I use that term. I know that's not how everybody uses that term, but I just want to be clear in what it is I'm saying I work with. I don't know what I'm forgetting. Spirit guides. I work with guides. I don't know. I think this term magical beings is a little vague, and I don't really understand. I mean, I think that I could seek out the spirit of a deceased magical practitioner, and that would, to me, would be working with a magical being. Like, I don't know. I guess the easy answer is yes, I work with magical beings. I do so very regularly in my practice. About deity, I mean, you could take it to deity too, because is it not magical if a deity can create from nothing, seemingly nothing? So like I said, yes, I think, yes, I work with magical beings. I think that that greatly enhances both my path, my spiritual path, and my practice. Okay, I'm going to stop talking because this is, to me, this is a confusing topic. There's just so much going on there. Thank you as always for watching, and until next time, much love and gratitude.